Good evening. Our top story: recovery efforts are underway after yesterday's storm, which left thousands without power. Crews are working nonstop to restore power, and shelters are assisting families displaced by the storm. Later, we'll see how communities are offering relief and what steps could prevent future breakdowns.
Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Generative, your home for generative AI tutorials, guides, and news. In this video, I will show you how to create consistent characters using VO3 and ChatGPT. This tutorial is not intended to achieve 100% consistency of the character. However, it is intended to show you how to use proper prompting in VO3. This is going to be the first of many series that we cover on this specific subject of consistent characters. We are going to start from the very basic, going to very advanced tutorials. So without further ado, let's get started. The first step that we're going to do here is to give ChatGPT some knowledge base to use to create proper prompts that are optimized for VO3 and follow the guidelines established by Google Flow. In order to do this, we are going to head over to the Google AI Studio. We are going to click on the documentation page. This is going to load the documentation that we're going to need for ChatGPT to reference when we create the VO3 prompts. Next, we are going to come to the video generation model here under models. We're going to click on that. And next, we are going to come to the VO prompt guide, and we're going to click here on the prompt writing basics. Now, this is the entire documentation provided for VO3 video creation. We're going to click on Control and P on the keyboard, and this is going to open the print window. We are going to select Save as PDF. Now we can just give this a name. We're going to say save this, and it says generate a video with VO3 in Gemini API. Google AI, that's perfectly fine. We're going to save this on the desktop. Now that this is saved, it's ready to be fed to ChatGPT to use it for creating our VO3 prompts. The next thing we're going to do is head over to ChatGPT. Now, if you have a paid version of ChatGPT, you'll be able to create GPTs. If not, you are going to need to add this knowledge, add photos and files, and we're going to go to the file that we just created, which is the generate videos in VO3, and we're going to add it to ChatGPT so that it can reference it for the creation of the prompts. Now, every time you create a new chat, you're going to need to upload this file again. Let me show you how to actually create a GPT real quick if you have a paid version of ChatGPT. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to GPTs. We're going to go here to the right upper corner of the screen and click on Create. Now here you can just name your GPT, give it a description, some instructions, and the conversation starters if required, and then we're going to upload the knowledge. So here we're going to click Upload, and we're going to select the file, the PDF file that we just saved from VO3. Let me show you the one GPT that I've created. So we're going to go back here to this is the VO prompt engineer that I've created. And we can click here and we can click Edit GPT so I can show you what I've done exactly. So I've called this a VO3 prompt engineer. This prompt engineer will create prompts for VO3 based on documentation. In the instructions, this section contains examples of videos you could create using VO and shows you how to modify the prompts to produce distinct results. And this is the knowledge. So this is exactly the same file that we just uploaded. And then I am using GPT-5. Okay, so with that done, we are now ready to use this GPT engineer to basically create our prompts. So Now that we have all of this done, we are going to go to the very first prompt for creation. This is something that I've created for the purposes of this tutorial video. And I went, of course, you're going to click on the VO3, on the GPT that you've created, or you just upload the documentation in the prompts, just like I showed you previously, if you don't have the paid version of ChatGPT. Now, what I'm going to say here is create a character prompt for a 45-year-old Caucasian American news anchor named Sam Harris. Make sure you include detailed description to ensure consistency of character across multiple scenes. Provide his voice and attire in separate paragraphs and ensure description is consistent for multiple scene generation in VO3. Do not include scene or dialogue details. Now, this is very crucial that we don't want to mix the scene details with the dialogue at this point. We just want to really focus on the character. And ChatGPT came back. Of course, it will consult the documentation and come back with the description. Sam Harris is a 45-year-old Caucasian American male, so on and so forth. We have his voice prompt, and we have the attire. Now, in the attire, you will notice that in this section here, which is very important, it says the silk tie in muted tones, and then it gave it a suggestion, a burgundy, deep blue, or gray. This is recipe for inconsistent results. So what I've told him, I said, lock the attire colors to ensure consistency across scenes. Got it. And now we have the attire of Sam Harris locked so that it never changes across multiple scenes. Then it's asking me here if you want me to lock the hairstyle grooming details. And this is also very important because if you do not include the hairstyle, then the character hair might look different in different scenes. So I've asked it to lock the hairstyle as well. So now we have the attire and the voice and the character of Sam Harris completely locked and ready for VO3 generation. So now it's asking me if you want me to format this into a VO3 template style prompt. And I told it, yes, I want this, but first I want to remove this line from the attire. And why did I remove the attire remains unchanging across all scenes? This detail here in the attire prompt is not something related to the attire. So you want to make sure you do read those descriptions. And if there is anything that is not specifically describing the item, then you want it removed. So here is what it came back with. Now the attire is locked and that line is removed. And now we are ready to create the VO3 prompt. So it asked me again if I wanted to have this in a VO3 ready template. And I said yes. Now I have the subject, the voice, the style, and the ambience all ready for a video generation. All right. So now that we have everything ready, the VO3 template prompt for Sam Harris is ready. We are going to copy this entire block here, copy, and then we're going to go to the notepad. And from the notepad, we are going to copy and paste. And now we have the entire prompt of Sam Harris here with all the details. Now I'm going to come to ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it for 3 scenes and dialogues that Sam is going to speak. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here's the completed prompt where I'm asking ChatGPT to provide me with a scene and 3 dialogues of Sam Harris delivering news. Do not include character details or attire description. Only include scene, camera position, his gestures, and dialogue he speaks. Now we're going to run this, and ChatGPT is going to come back with the different scenes, gestures, and the dialogue. Okay, now if you see here, do you want me to create 2 more scenes? No, we're going to just ignore that. So the scene is a brightly lit new studio with modern backdrop displays a large digital world map the camera begins with a medium close-up shot of Sam at the anchor desk, then slowly zooms in during his delivery. So then it says this is the camera position and the motion, and here are the gestures that he is making, and now we have 3 dialogues. Now, this is really not a ready format for us to use, or it might, create confusion. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create this in a paragraph. So I'll ask it if I can have this in paragraph format, and I want them to be in 3 distinct prompts. So this is exactly what I'm going to tell ChatGPT to provide me with. So here is what I've asked ChatGPT: provide 3 prompts for each dialogue with different camera positions. And we're going to go ahead and run that. Now ChatGPT is going to come back and he says, this is dialogue 1, good evening, our top story tonight, so on and so forth. This is the first prompt, this is the second one, and this is for dialogue 2. So we can have either one of these, whichever one you like. You can basically select them. Do you want to expand each into VO3 ready text prompt with subject, style, ambience? Now I'm going to tell it, yes, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to copy that. And now we can have, this is the first prompt. And now this is your 1B prompt or 1C, whichever one that you like. And the dialogue that he speaks is this here. So good evening, good night. Our story tonight is that. Now you notice that this is probably a bit too long for the, it's probably a little bit too long for VO3 in one generation because we are limited by 8 seconds. So I'm just going to tell ChatGPT limit the dialogue to 8 seconds. And there we go. Now ChatGPT is coming with a shortened version of our dialogues. So what do we need to do now? So now I want to first come over here to the very beginning where we created the scene. So it says this is the news broadcast segment. So the scene is a brightly lit news studio with a modern backdrop displaying a large digital world map. The camera begins with a medium close-up of Sam at the anchor desk, then slowly zooms out. Now, we are going to just select the scene, a brightly lit news studio with a modern backdrop displaying a large world map. I'm going to copy only that as the scene, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste it inside of our notepad. Then I'm going to come back to the prompt here. We're going to go all the way down to the final. So we're going to go for the first dialogue here. Now we can have any of these. So this is the dialogue here on the first one that says scene news studio with a digital world backdrop. The camera is eye level medium close up, hands resting on desk, upright position. And then the dialogue is good evening, our top story. Recovery efforts are underway after yesterday's storm, which left thousands without power. Now, and there's the style and the ambiance as well for this medium close-up. Now you can select any of these and replace it with the dialogue, but and then this one is for the second. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the first one here with the dialogue. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go back to my notepad here and I'm going to paste this information. Okay, so now I have the subject, the voice, the attire, style, ambience, the scene. So now I can remove this scene here. All right, and we're going to just remove that one. And now I have the camera, the gestures, dialogue, and style. Okay, let's go ahead now and go to VO3 and run this. We can actually remove the ambience as well because we've already locked the ambience here and the scene. So we need the camera, gestures, dialogue, and style. So we're going to copy all of this here and we are going to head over to VO3. All right, so now we have pasted the entire prompt here into VO3. Let's go ahead and give it a run. All right, so it looks like the generation has failed. The reason being is these little hyphens here And I've noticed that when these hyphens exist, always the generation fails. So what we're going to do, we are going to replace it with a comma wherever we see those hyphens in our, see, we'll do it here as well. So we're just going to put a comma and we're just going to scan here real quick to see if we have any of these hyphens. Looks like we're good. And let's go ahead and give it another shot. All right, so we have the first generation of Sam Harris, the news anchor. Let's go ahead and play this.
Good evening. Our top story, recovery efforts are underway after yesterday's storm, which left thousands without power. Good evening.
So this is the very first one. As you can see, it followed exactly the prompt. You'll notice that the attire is exactly what we've got. Let me make this bigger here so you guys can see it better. And let's play it one more time.
Our top story, recovery efforts are underway after yesterday's storm, which left thousands without power. Good evening. Our top story.
So now we are done with this first generation. Now we want to do the second generation. So we're going to go back to ChatGPT here. And now we want the second dialogue, which is this one here. Now, we don't need the style, we don't need the ambience, we need the dialogue, and we need the gestures and the camera position. So we're going to only select the dialogue and the gestures that he's making, and we're going to copy those from ChatGPT. And now we can go to Flow, and we're going to click here on Reuse the Prompt. And the only thing we're going to change is the camera, gestures, and dialogue. So we're going to come here and we're going to paste those in. So paste. Now we have the gestures. I think we missed the camera. Let me go back and let's see here. We have the camera. There we go. Camera, gestures, and dialogue that he's speaking. We're going to copy it and we're going to come back here and we're going to paste those in. So now we have the camera, a medium shot, slow zoom in, gestures, straightforward, and the dialogue that he speaks. And we're going to run this prompt again. Right, let's give it some time and wait for the results. All right, and here's the second generation. Now, at first, you'll notice the similarity between Sam Harris in the first and second. You'll see that his attire is completely consistent. He's still wearing the same wristwatch that he's wearing here. Again, look at the details there. You can see that the scene is consistent, well, to a large degree. And let's go ahead and play it in the character. You look at the hairstyle is very much similar. A little bit of change maybe here. You can see above the forehead. Let's go ahead and run the second one now.
Crews are working nonstop to restore power, and shelters are assisting families displaced by the storm. Crews are working.
All right, let's play the first one.
Good evening. Our top story, recovery efforts are underway after yesterday's storm, which left thousands without power. Working nonstop to restore power, and shelters are assisting families displaced by the storm.
What do you guys think? I think this is really, really very, very good. So the character here of Sam Harris in the first and the second runs these are completely independent prompts, and the results are very, very good. So the character overall to about, I would say, about 90% consistent in terms of the overall appearance of the character, the voice, the actual facial features. This pretty much looks like the same person. Now, we are going to go ahead and go to ChatGPT, and now we're going to select the third dialogue here. And the only thing we're going to need is the dialogue, the gestures, and the camera. So this is the only thing that we are going to change in the prompt, leaving everything exactly the same. And we're going to copy that. We're going to come back to Flow, and we're going to now select this one. This is the latest one that we've done. And we are going to replace the camera, gestures, dialogue, and we're going to paste that in. And now we're going to see here, it says later, we'll see how communities are offering relief and what steps could prevent future breakdowns. So this is now the third one, or the third dialogue that he speaks, and we're going to go ahead and run it. And the third generation is now ready. Again, we're going to notice how Sam Harris looks extremely similar with a completely independent prompt. Just the details are the same. You can again see the attire remains consistent, exactly. And even the mic position remains exactly the same. The watch here on the wrist, again, looks very consistent from all the scenes. And now let's go ahead and play the third one.
Later, we'll see how communities are offering relief and what steps could prevent future breakdowns.
All right. I think the results are quite impressive. Now that we have all the three clips, let's play them all together. So I'm going to do a little bit of editing in Adobe Premiere in order to bring those three clips together, and let's take a look together. Here are the three clips in Adobe Premiere. They're going to be played in sequence for you guys to see how accurate we were able to create this character, its voice, its attire, and the entire ambiance of the scene. Let's take a look.
Good evening. Our top story: recovery efforts are underway after yesterday's storm, which left thousands without power. Crews are working nonstop to restore power, and shelters are assisting families displaced by the storm. Later, we'll see how communities are offering relief and what steps could prevent future breakdowns.
I thought that this was really, really impressive. Three independent prompts that have produced very consistent results in every iteration. Okay, I think this is it, really. This is really what I wanted to show you guys in this video. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. In our next tutorial, I am going to be showing you how you can create images within the VO3 platform to ensure even more consistency. Well, until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon.